Let me say it again. Where they were when he said this word, they were in the boat, but they were about to board the boat. That's the game. He knows that dark times is about to come. Since the dark time is about to come, they don't know it's about to come. But he's about to take those that have light in them and put them in darkness. But how are they going to get there? Something has to usher them in. So he makes them get on the boat. This is not the time that he's going to usher them and tell them, go to the other side and I'll send people away. This is the first time when he goes with them. Watch something I want to show you. For he says, and if any man here have ears to hear, let him hear. And he said unto them, take heed, pay attention to what you hear. With what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you. For what level of understanding you have, it shall be given to you. Wait. For if you receive it on this level, I got to test it on this level. Are you following? So if he's telling them, be careful what you hear, be careful what you learn, you would think being around Jesus, when Jesus says stuff like this, he's almost setting you up for something. So he says, be careful when you hear this, because when you hear this, it's got to be tested. So he's telling them something they're not grasping in their head. He's telling them that you are a candlestick. He's telling them that the boat is the candlestick and you are a candle. He's telling them that you have light. And you can change the darkness if you apply the word. You follow me? Watch. He says, and he said unto them, take heed what you hear, with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you, and unto you that hear shall more be given. Wait, if you understand it, he says, I'll give you more. But then he says something. For he that hath, to him shall be given. If I have an understanding, I receive it. He says he'll give me more. There's a principle. As soon as I understand and walk in what God gives me, God's going to turn around and give me more. So I say more. But watch this. He also says something else. And he that hath not, from him shall be taken even that which he hath. And I ask the question, if he don't have anything, how can you take something from him that he don't have? You know, when I looked it up, that's not what he means. What he means is, because he gave all the parables, but everybody didn't take heed to it. Right? Right. So then he gave the disciples a deeper depth of the parable, but now it's testing time. Somebody say testing time. So watch this. He says, if you take what I give to you and begin to apply it, I'll give you more. But if you take what I've given to you and you don't apply it, I'm going to take from you that which I've given. Amen. You will say, Jesus is going to take word? Why? Because why would he give us word to prepare us for the dark place? And when we get into the dark place, not use it. What is he giving us the word for? For the dark place. Why are we a kingdom? For the dark place. What is the fire and the light for? For the dark place. And he's trying to tell us that if you don't apply what I give you, when you get into it, you're going to lose it. Right? How does he say that? And he that hath not, from him shall be taken even that which he hath. I'm going somewhere. I'm almost finished. And he said, so is the kingdom of God. If he hadn't said this one statement, then I would have been real good with this. But he begins to tell me what heaven is like. Wait. So you're telling me now, based upon what you just said, that heaven runs like this. You follow me? So if heaven runs like this, how am I going to transition from earth to heaven if I don't take his word here and apply it here? How am I going to learn how to, I can't wait to heaven to start doing what he would have me to do in heaven. He's giving me an opportunity to apply it here on earth. Follow me? Because he's telling me this is what heaven's like. Since the kingdom of God runs like this, so it behooves you to pay attention and learn this now. And so when I put you in the dark places, you will have a tool, because we know knowledge is power. Then you will have a tool. Then I get you to a place where you're reigning with me. Then watch this. When you're reigning with me, you will have already learned the principle, because I gave you a chance to practice it back then. Follow me? So then he says something. So he says, and he said, so is the kingdom of God. Watch. If a man should cast seed into the ground, and should sleep and rise night and day, and the seed should spring and grow up, he knows not how. Wait a minute. He said, look, listen to how the heaven operates. You won't throw it out there, but when it goes into the ground, you have a responsibility above board. Somebody say above board. Why above board? My responsibility, we all know that when you plant it, you still got to fertilize it. You still got to water it. You still got to weed. But you're not weeding or doing anything below the surface. You're doing everything above ground. Somebody say above ground. Above ground. So wait. So watch. He says, but what's going on with the seed, you don't even know. Oh, I hope y'all get this. You don't even know what's going on. Though you sowed it, though you weeded, you've done everything you need to do above ground, you got to understand what you're doing above ground is working on something deep, on a deeper level below the ground. You're giving the seed a greater chance to grow in a, oh, I hope y'all catch this. And this is the crux of the message. The Lord told me to tell you exactly what you're having to do above ground. You're looking for God to do something below the surface, but you don't know by maintaining above the surface that you're giving me the opportunity to do what I need to do to what's already been planted below the surface. And it doesn't look like it's going to work. But when the ground breaks forth, because you maintain above ground, what's below ground is going to happen for you because you took the time to work it out above ground. And some people will plant the seed and just back up and expect it to grow on its own. But it doesn't work like that. He says, I'm doing stuff that you don't even see or know that I'm doing for you. All you need to do is maintain above ground, and I'll do the rest. I sat last night and I was like, Lord have mercy. I was going over this thing again. I said, wait, so you telling me that you said, you told the disciples, be careful, pay attention to what I say to you, because you don't understand. I told you about the parable about the sower, but I told you about everything that went on above ground. But now I'm trying to get you to another level that they can understand. That if you do what you need to do above ground, it doesn't look like it's working. But if you work that out, you give the seed a greater chance to become something and flourish. But watch this, there is a process. Somebody say process. There's a process that I think that we miss, that we don't like, because, but if I maintain and do everything, have you ever planted a seed and you wonder when it's going to even sprout? It looked like it ain't even going to break through, but you come back one day and all of a sudden, that joker not only broke through, but it got a good little start on it. It looked like a little something. Watch this. Hear what talking in my head. Listen, let me tell you something. Hear me what I'm saying. Hear what's coming out of my mouth right now. What's causing you, looks like it's causing you trouble right now. What it feels like it's hard to get through right now. You're going to look around and all of a sudden, the breakthrough is going to be already there. The breakthrough is going to, you just keep doing what you need to do above ground, and then all of a sudden you're going to walk up on it and it's going to look like what you expected it to come out to be, or it's going to do what it's expected to do, but it's just not going, you're not going to see it break. You're going to actually see the sprout. And what you're going through right now is the breaking process. And it is the breaking process that seems like stuff ain't going to work. We don't know when the ground broke open. The seed is actually doing something, and the seed is getting roots. But when it breaks out, it's like it broke out all of a sudden. And I hear the Lord saying to tell y'all, him, Colin, listen, that keep doing what you know to do. And it doesn't look like it's working, but it's working below the surface. And y'all, proud of it. Two of y'all, do me a favor. Lord, have mercy. Both of y'all, just lift it, close your hand, lift your hands to the Lord. It doesn't look like, God, have mercy. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I love it when you do this. It doesn't look like it's working on the surface. It don't even feel good. But he said, I'll work it out for you. Something is happening happening below the surface that you don't even see, but it's going to be better than you ever thought. Just do what you got to do on the top side, and I'll work out the bottom side, and he's going to turn your health situation around. He's going to turn your house situation around. He's working it out, but you got to do the top stuff. Just do the top stuff. I want you to receive that from the Lord. Just do the top stuff. Keep doing it, and all of a sudden you're going to look around and something broke through, and you didn't even know when it broke. You didn't even know when it came through. It doesn't look like it didn't go happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's happening below the ground, and you don't see it, and it looks like nothing happened. But the greatest work is happening below the ground. Below the ground is working. God is doing it. It feels like he's not doing it, but he's doing it. He's doing it. He's turning it around. What he's allowing it to do is giving the seed a chance to get some root. It starts to grow deeper before it comes to the surface. I'm trying to show you something. God, mercy. Listen, it's taking root so that when the storm comes, when it tries to blow it away, it won't be able to move it because it's got some root. And he's allowing it to take root right now. But hear me when I tell y'all. I know I hear it. Hear me when I tell you it's working. It's working. Don't switch. Don't change. It may hurt. You may go through, but this is the breaking process. And most people that want stuff don't want to go through the breaking process. It is the breaking process where he makes us and shapes us into what we need to be. Keep doing what you need to do. Just do what you need to do now and let the Lord do the rest. Do you hear me? Please receive it. God gonna do the rest. God gonna do the rest because it takes Jesus to do this one. It takes God to do this for you. He's turning it around. I want you to receive it. Because I hear Father, Lord, have mercy. Oh, God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Below the surface. He said, I'm doing it below the surface. You don't even know. Look what he said. He says, he knoweth not how. You don't even know how. God. You don't even know how. You don't hear me because you just be like, you don't even know how he's going to do it. All we need to know is that he's going to do it, and that is being done right now. Regardless of what I see, regardless of the trouble in my life above ground, it ain't like that below the ground. Oh, God. For the earth bringeth forth the fruit of herself. She don't need your help. God allowed that seed to be planted because if we could touch that seed, we would go in there and try to transplant that seed and put it someplace else. But how many? He says the earth. Wait a minute. The earth. Whose earth? Man. Man bringing forth fruit of herself. Wait. You telling me that my trouble is allowing me to produce some fruit by myself? Why? Because I'm light. And he put me in something to usher me into a dark place. The seed gets put in the bag and thrown into the ground, and the ground covers it. And the ground holds it, earth holds it, until it can produce something below the surface. Watch. For the blade, first the blade. He's trying to tell you what's going to happen. First the blade going to come out. Then the air. And after that, the full corn in the air. You're not going to get full fruit in the beginning. You're going to get a stalk in the beginning. Then all of a sudden, the air is going to grow. And then the air ain't going to have nothing on it. But because of all you've done below the surface, he's showing you the process. Stick with the process till when? Until you have full fruit. Somebody say full fruit. Oh, I hope you catch this. But when the fruit, not bad news. Some people would say, if you don't have a spiritual eye, you would say, this is bad news. I want to tell you, this is not bad news. Please catch this. But when the fruit is brought forth, first the stalk, then the air, then the full fruit. Somebody say full fruit. But understand, as soon as you go through full fruit, something happens. What happens is immediately, somebody say immediately. Immediately he put it in the sickle because the harvest is come. Wait a minute. he allows you to get cut off. Why? Because if he let the corn stay on the air too long, the corn will go bad on the stalk, and all that you went through was for nothing. So wait, he tells me immediately, he puts it in the sickle. The sickle is the hook that gathers in everything. Not only does it cut it down, but it grabs and gathers everything so it can be bundled up and be prepared for whatever it is needed for. Are you following me? So wait, so then if immediately he put forth the sickle, we think some things that get cut off means that we're going without. No, it just means you're getting ready to be transformed from one form to another form so you can serve your purpose. Because we think that we're corn. No, you bread. Y'all don't hear me. We think that you're one thing, and God's saying, no, I see you as something else. But if you stay on the stalk, or you stay on the air, then what you don't understand is you'll always be corn that goes bad. But if you let me cut you and bring you to a place that I can transform you into something, watch this, that can be consumed, that can be enjoyed, that can be changed. That's what he wants to do with our life. But immediately put forth the sickle, because why? The harvest has come. And he said, what whereunto shall we liken the kingdom of God? What are we going to compare the kingdom of God to? Or he says, with what comparison shall we compare it? So he's telling the disciples, when it comes down to looking at heaven, you don't have, your understanding is not to the place where you can understand heaven. So what can I compare heaven to? I would have a different outcome of this if it was somebody else that was saying it, but this is Jesus that is saying this. So he's actually talking to them saying, wait a minute, okay, since you don't understand on this level, let me see how I can get you to understand. What is heaven? Because Jesus doesn't have a problem with comparison. He already knows what heaven is like. So wait a minute, if Jesus is doing the talking, then watch, he's giving them more information. Do you see that? Wait, why would he give you more information? Because they got the first part. Got me? When they got the first part, now the second part, he's saying, what can I compare heaven to? If I had to compare it to something, what would I compare the kingdom of God to? And what the disciples don't understand is they do like us. We're sitting there trying to wait on Jesus to give us information. Somebody say information. And what we don't understand is it's a setup. Why? Because he only gives you information so that the light be carried into the darkness and things can be changed, right? So he begins to do something. He says, so what can we compare to? Oh, he said, can you see Jesus talking? He says, oh, I know. Okay, look at it like this way. The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed. Please write down mustard seed. And I don't want you to take my word for this. I want you to go look it up for yourself. You're not going to like this. What do you mean not going to like it? Let me just get it to you. Mustard seed in the Greek. It's sinape. It's S-I-N-A-P-I. Or sinape. S-I-N-A-P-I. Watch this. That's what it means. It means to hurt or to sting. Why? To hurt or to sting. Wait, why? To hurt or to sting. He said the kingdom of heaven is like a grain, a mustard seed. Something meant to hurt or to sting. The kingdom of heaven is like a grain, a mustard seed. What did it say? Mustard seed. Something meant to hurt or to sting. The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed, which when it is sown in the earth. What is earth? Man, okay? The kingdom of heaven is like something that is meant to hurt or to sting when it is sown into your life. Watch this. It's less than all the seeds that be in the earth. Wait a minute. He has already done some other plantings. I've got some other stuff down on the inside. But the mustard seed, when it's applied to my life, is smaller than any of the other seeds that's in your life. See what he said?
Yes.
What now? He says it's smaller than any other seeds that you put in your life. When he said something, but when it is sown, which tells me if it's not sown, we won't have this issue. But when it's sown, it does something. It grows up and becomes greater than all the herbs and shooteth out great branches. Wait a minute. Somebody said, I have seed.
I have seed.
So since you have seed, he says the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God is like if I take one of the smallest seed that is meant to do hurt or to sting. Somebody say trouble.
Trouble.
If I plant trouble, trouble is smaller than all the other seeds that's down on the inside of you. But yet, when trouble begins to grow, it outgrows all of the other stuff that you got in. Do you see that? What? But when it is sown, it grows up and becomes greater than all the herbs and shoot out great branches. See that? Watch. So that, watch, the fowls of the air may lodge under the shadow of it. He just told us why he allowed trouble to come in your life. Lord have mercy. Why? Because in the end, trouble will cause something to grow in you that will produce something in you, not only that will feed others, but the birds will have a safe place to rest in you. He's trying to tell you, trouble is the one thing that is conducive, watch, can be compared to how the kingdom of heaven grows. Trouble on earth trouble will bring you to a place that when trouble finishes its work down on the inside of you, it will produce something down on the inside of you that when it grows below the surface and comes to the top, it's going to outsprout, it's going to outgrow everything. It's like trouble becomes a super fertilizer in your life. Are you seeing this? So that not only people will be fed, but people will find safety in you because you went through the process. So if y'all don't go through the process, then watch this. It ain't just about y'all. Your grandkids know you're going through. Your family knows that you're going through. And folks in the public know that you're going through. Because he allowed your trouble. Remember what I told you about last week? To be put on public display. Yes. Everybody know you ain't got to say a word. They can look at you and tell you're going through something. But somebody's watching you, and you may never say a word. But if you allow it to grow and do what it needs to do, trouble will cause something in your life to be produced where the people will say, you made it through. I want what you want. And they'll come under the shade of your tree.
Yes. Yes.
And be able to eat from your experience. Yes. So much so that the birds will come and land and find a safe place in your life. People will come and find safety based upon the fact that you went through the process. Do you see that? Yeah. Watch, so I can end this. It is like a grain of mustard seed, which when it is sown, God, thank you, sown in the earth, it's less than all the seeds that be in the earth, but when it's sown, it grows up. It grows up. Causes you to grow up. You'll get trouble that causes you to grow up. And as much as we don't want to go through it, sometimes our kids, we don't want kids to go through it. But trouble, somebody say trouble. Trouble will make you grow up.
Yes.
Trouble will make you into a man or make you into a woman. Trouble will make you grow up and become greater than all the herbs. Shooteth out great branches so that the fowls of the air may lodge under the shadow of it. And with many such parables spake he the word unto them as they were able to hear it. Wait a minute. Which tells me he could talk to them on a level that they wouldn't even be able to stand it. But listen what he says. But without a parable spake he not unto them. And when they were alone, he expounded all things to his disciples. you sense in your spirit, some men ain't right in the house, some ain't right on the job. Well, God, why are you? He said, when the evening was come, I didn't finish teaching. I didn't have breakfast and lunch. I didn't minister to the people. He said, no, y'all go. We're going to the other side. You see the disciples going, yeah, we're going to the other side. Not understanding in the head, it's a setup. What did somebody say? It's a setup. He said, let us go unto the other side and win. Somebody say win. When they had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship. Why would you make a statement like that, even as he was? How else you going to take Jesus? Watch. What he's trying, the writer wants us to understand is nothing special changes with Jesus. There's no Mount of Transfiguration. Jesus doesn't glow. There's no angels. There's nothing special that's happening. Just as Jesus is, they take Jesus on the boat with them this time. Got me? Watch this. Because he's trying to show us that in the circumstances, the word doesn't change. The word that taught us on the shore is the word that's going to teach us the lesson on the ocean. The word that taught us this lesson while we were standing with the people is the word that we're going to have to use when we're by ourselves. The word that we used while we were traveling, guess what? It's going to be the same word you're going to have to use when you got to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. He took the word just as he was on the ship. Watch this. And there was also with him other little ships. Watch it. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so that it was now full. He lets us know what the problems are. Here's the issue. What are the two issues at hand? It's not the boat, because the boat is the candlestick. It is not the disciples on the boat, because the disciples are the light. It is not Jesus, because Jesus hadn't changed. The other ships didn't have Jesus on it. The other little ships, remember that? Don't have Jesus on it, but they're around, right? The problem is two things. The wind and the waves. Please write that down. Write down on one line the wind, write on another line the waves. I want to teach you something, that the wind is the problem, the waves is the symptom. Shh. Woo! I wish I could stay right there and teach a series. The wind is the problem, but the waves is the symptoms. What? As I know this, that there arose a great wind. The problem, we would have a problem with the waves getting in the boat if it wasn't for the wind. Right? So if the wind is the problem, watch what he says. And the waves began to beat into the ship so that it was full. They're not struggling with the winds. They're struggling with the waves. What was the lesson that he taught them before they got on the boat? The lesson was, if I take light and put it into darkness, the darkness can't comprehend the light. But they found themselves wrestling with symptoms and not dealing with the problem. They were wrestling with the waves being in the boat, because sometimes it feels like we're about to drown because of symptoms and we're about to go down. But if we would turn and add light to the darkness or to the wind, if we stop the wind, it'll stop the waves. But we're not focusing on that. What they were focusing on is trying to throw the water out, and he began to show me. That's how most Christians begin to deal with issues that's going on in their life. They're busy trying to keep the boat afloat, and they're throwing water out of the boat, but they won't rebuke the trouble. And he was in the hinder part of the ship, in the back, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him and said unto him, Master. Wait a minute. What does master mean? Teacher. instructor. I asked, why didn't they say Lord? Because this was a lesson and God had them in class. God had them in class. So they didn't say Lord, they said teacher. Because the teacher gave them the information and then turned around and gave them a pop quiz. And the pop quiz was, will you deal with the wind or will you wrestle with the waves? See it? So they say, Master, after they struggle, don't you even care? What he said? Carest thou not? If we perish, don't you care that we're about to die? Watch this. Jesus knowing that they weren't going to die. Why? Because you can't die with Jesus on board. Because his mission had, and I think we forget, if Jesus is on board, and when Jesus is on board, which is the word, which is life, which is light of men, wait a minute, and that light is going to shine in darkness, which meant they weren't going to go down. Wait, so if they weren't going to go down, had they dealt with the wind, Jesus could have stayed asleep. And then after dealing with the wind, then get the water out the boat. But we're too busy dealing with the water that's in the boat and not dealing with the wind. And Jesus didn't have a problem with the wind nor the waves because it was a lesson. And he was asleep. How is a person in the back of a boat in the midst of a bad storm, a great storm like that, and he's sleeping? He's teaching them what we should be doing in the storm. Learning how to rest. Watch. And he arose. Please see the order of this. And he rebuked the wind. He didn't rebuke the waves. The waves wasn't the problem. He rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, which is the waves, peace, or cease, or stop, and be still. Watch. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. It didn't say that the waves did anything. What did it say? That the wind stopped. Right? Watch. Please make sure that when God begins to teach you, especially like this word today, then